You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. And we've been talking about the past catching up with you. And we showcase in the story around a high school teacher by the name of Tara Myers, 38 years old, who voluntarily left her job after a student exposed a video where she was a porn star at one time. And at that time, she's 22, homeless, mother of two, and she became involved in the porn industry. And the question is, at what point do we forgive? And I had a gentleman who called by the name of James, who had worked with some young men who had been involved in gangs and did a lot of bad things, but decided to change their lives. And he gave them a shot, gave them a chance to do that. And they've gone on to do some other good things. I thought about Vanessa Williams, who was stripped of her crown of Miss America, and how she moved forward, how she did not allow her past to determine her present or her future. And then I started thinking about another person that I know. The same thing happened. She had such a promising career in television, and her ex-husband, out of anger and revengefulness and hatred, he exposed a video of them making love. And that crushed her. She never came back. She was never the same person. She was very beautiful, very talented, very gifted, very attractive, and she allowed herself to become morbidly obese, and she just faded. She allowed that to crush her. Unlike Vanessa Williams, unlike former President Bill Clinton, who there was a special on CNN, they referred to him as President of the World. He didn't allow his past, his mistakes, to crush him. When you think about, some people who allow their past mistakes and things they've done, and guilt, and other people around them pointing fingers. There are some people who, this is a strange time when we live. You think about, when I saw the picture of Mike Phelps on the pipe, I was thinking, who took that picture? When you think about people who will call and expose someone, that student who came with the video, what did they expect to achieve by that? There are some people who will do everything they can, even if you don't know them, even if you've never done anything to them, to destroy you. This is a strange time. You almost are paranoid because you don't know who's around you. This is a time of envy and jealousy that there are people who revel at and get off on tearing people down. Former President Lyndon Baines Johnson said, "I can accuse my enemy of screwing a pig and walk away, but he has to stand there to defend himself." The past. What experiences have you had with that? Have you ever had to give somebody a chance that you knew they had a shady past, but you knew there was something about you that you saw in them, and something about them that you said, my heart is telling me I need to do this. I'm going to do this. Or maybe you've had a past and you had some struggles and some time. It took you some time to outlive your past, and you've done it. Want to know, how did you do that? How did you accomplish that? That's what we're talking about right now. And I want you to weigh in on the conversation, because I want to hear your story about triumph, of how you overcame that. That's what this show does. It focuses on the positive aspect, the resolution. How did you come through that? The number to call is 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. When you think about, there are people who allow things of experience. I have a friend who's just a good person, made some mistakes when he was younger. He went to jail, he did his time, and now he's a barber. He's starting all over again. He's kept his nose clean. He's doing the right thing. He's a family man. He's a good father. But if you saw this guy, you would never, ever knew that he spent some time in Chino prison. You would never know that. And I think that now that we have to begin to look at, how do we begin to move and shift from being a society or culture of really getting off and watching people disintegrate or destroying people or tearing them down, and be about being supportive and being encouraging and being inspiring. a lot of people who enjoy looking at what the drama and the experience that Charlie Sheen is going through right now. There are a lot of people who are getting off on that, making money off it, exploiting him, and they enjoy watching that. It's what kind of mindset is that? What kind of culture have we created it's okay to see people in pain or people going through some type of challenge in their lives, and we make it entertainment. The number to call is 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. One of the things about life is that they said life is like an onion. You have to peel it one layer at a time, and sometimes you cry. Oscar Wilde said about the past, never look back unless you're planning to go that way. No man is rich enough to buy back his past. Oscar, thank you for that one. Let me talk to Art right now. Art, thank you for calling in. Let's hear your story on this.
Okay. Basically, my name is Art Ramirez.
Yes.
Actually, Pastor Art Ramirez. I oversee a prison ministry called Living Proof Ministries.
Mm-hmm.
And been doing that for 23 years, but haven't always been a pastor. Like I was saying earlier, as a preteen and a teenager, I started making some choices right there in East LA, and I got involved with one of the local Maravilla gangs right there, and that just opened my whole world up to a bunch of madness, a bunch of funerals, dodging bullets, and running away from cops. And I remember, I think it was 1978, I think I was 21, and the East LA sheriff said, "We're going to get you." And I told them, "You ain't going to get nobody." Well, they got me 5 times that year. And I ended up making a deal with the district attorney. I pled guilty to 2 charges. They dropped the other 3, and so I went to prison as a young man. I was paroled in March of 1981, and, you know, still involved in all that madness. Came right out, started doing the same thing I was doing that got me there in the first place. And it was January 9th, 1982. I was in a motel room with some crazy girl who was crazy like me, and I think Mama was praying that night, trying to tell God, do something with this crazy guy because he's on his way back real quick.
Hold on just a minute. I've got to take care of some business here, Art, and I'll be right back with you because I want to hear your story. And I really appreciate your calling in and sharing it. Hopefully it'll be helpful to someone that's listening. We're talking about the past, catching up with your present.